Welcome to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
Welcome back to another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. My name is Dan Leonard.
Hi, Dan.
And joining me this week in the studio is Heather Straight.
Hello.
And Mr. Jeff Williams.
Hey, that's me.
It's still you for another week.
At least.
Our show is always is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. It's been a while since we had a good old-fashioned news roundup.
Yeehaw.
Woohoo!
Oh, strap in. It's time to take a look at all the latest, greatest, and weirdest stuff that's been going on in the world of travel and theme parks, and then laugh as I fumble to improvise a decent segue between stories.
Did you say strap on?
No, I said strap in. I knew that you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
It's literally my job.
Yes. That's what we keep you around for. Our first story is coming in hot. Hot.
Very hot.
I get it.
Yeah, that darn old dragon at Disneyland's Fantasmic show was recently destroyed by a massive fire.
Engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense.
Whew.
Yeah, it was bad. You can see in one of the videos that circulated on the Tickety Talk, you can see before it goes up that there was definitely fuel leaking from a line somewhere back in the dragon's head. You can see
when he squirted, like the fuel burned, but then you could see liquid continuing to squirt. So the next time that igniter went, boom, he was covered in fuel.
2 out of 2 Maleficent dragons consumed by fire.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't so bad when it was at Disney World, because that steampunk Maleficent is mostly metal and it just burned up the head.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what happened to this one too. It's all draped in plasticky stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this one, the skeleton's still there, but it melted half the body away. It was bad. And also I found, there's not a link in this article that I have, but I saw another TikTok, or there's a video on Twitter where some guests were on Splash Mountain and they come around the bend in one of the outside segments and they see the smoke coming up and, oh my God, what's going on? And then they get around to the front and it's just hellfire raising out of Tom Sawyer's Island.
Yeah.
It was really a spectacular show.
I'm actually surprised it didn't look worse the next day because there's so much of the dock area and barrels. There's a lot of wood right around there. Maybe it's actually stone and made to look wood or something, because I'm surprised none of that went up in flames.
I think they also, watching some of the videos, it looked like they started firing some of the fountains a little extra to wet things down there, help prevent the spread of fire. I also enjoy...
Tide.
So how long before no more fire at Disney parks?
No, they've already said that.
Yeah, but not all of it. Actually, the fire is still going to be present in Disney World's Fantasmic because I guess they say they do it differently there. And also, that show would really suck without the whole finale. That show would be awful. The only thing at Walt Disney World that's going away is the fire from the Maleficent dragon in the parade.
They are going to stop doing that. Interesting.
At least for now, until they make sure that
they can figure out a way to do it safely.
I saw this article that said Disney suspends fire effects globally after Fantasmic incident out of abundance of caution. So it's temporary, but maybe they're going to re-examine every one of their fire effects. But I'm like, meanwhile, every Broadway show and Kiss concert across the world is shooting fire all day long with mostly no incident.
Yeah. if Gene Simmons can manage it, then sure.
And
That's
this
right.
Fantasmic show at Disneyland has always had that fire for, one show a day for years and years.
2 even some days.
Yes. There's just, something went wrong.
Yeah.
You got to re-examine that one and figure out.
Had
what
Elon Musk
safety-
recently re-engineered it?
I mean, it's definitely, though, it's going to be quite some time before that is back up and running. I'm sure that, they don't have a spare gigantic dragon puppet
What?
out back that they can drag out. And
My favorite meme
Bring in the
was-
other giant puppet.
My favorite meme was somebody had a who wore it best. I put the two Maleficents on fire side by side.
I think Disneyland wins that one.
Disneyland definitely
it
won.
was definitely more spectacular. And did you see in the video when it was happening, Mickey is out there dancing around and doesn't notice at first.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden notices and just stops and is staring up at the dragon. Like, what the hell do I do now?
You're up, Mick.
You got to run, Mickey. You have to run.
That was very good, though. I liked the.
And then the lights go down and you see him scurry. But all about show
Run,
out
Mickey,
there.
run.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good. So it wasn't good. I'm sorry to say that Murphy the Dragon
Wah,
is temporarily
wah.
no more. So, would have been exciting to see, though.
Oh, I would have loved
For
it.
sure.
Now that I know in hindsight that no one was hurt. and all that.
Yes.
Right. Then it's great. The next hot story that we might have to cut off
It's pretty
cut
hot.
out by the
for right
time this
now.
episode releases. Walt Disney World annual passes went back on sale April 20th. Shockingly, 5 days later, all 4 passes remain on sale, which they
I
had.
hear that the launch went spectacularly smoothly, right? No
Oh,
technical
always.
Oh yeah, it was
problems,
Easy to get
nothing?
through.
it was
Probably.
great. They said, okay, they were intentionally vague, and I should have known that they wouldn't be ready when I thought they would be ready. They said sales passes would be on sale no earlier than 6 a.m. So I set my alarm to be up so that I could
No
get on the site at
earlier.
6 a.m. to try to be on there early and get it taken care of quickly. They didn't start selling them until 6:45 a.m. Fortunately, they went straight to doing the virtual queue instead of the cluster that happened
Site
when they
just
did the
crashing.
DVC passes a couple of weeks ago. I was immediately given over an hour wait time. By the time I got into the page where I could actually buy the pass, I got everything into my cart.
Your cart.
Yeah, into the shopping cart. I was trying to go to the page to complete the purchase, and the site crashed. And apparently everything was down for everybody for a while. They decided to bring the annual passes out on a day that they did a dining promo for UK
Oh,
guests at the same time. So I'm sure that didn't help. So I had the pass in my cart, but it kicked me out and put me back in the queue.
Oh,
said wait time
fun.
Yeah, it said that my wait time was estimated to be more than an hour. I finally got back in to be able to purchase at 3 p.m., which means I waited for 9.5 hours.
9.5 hours. For,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, 3:30 was when I was able to get in. It was ridiculous.
and
That's
he's on a
crazy.
minute-by-minute plan for his cell phone.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, once I finally got in, it worked fine. They did put out a message that afternoon that they expected some tiers of the pass to sell out soon, but then they never
And then
did.
they're still on sale as of April 25th.
Yeah, as
I'm a little
they're still
surprised.
all available. So that was an interesting.
I'd love to know
day.
their target number of.
Same.
Yeah,
They're
And
always
why
super
now
close.
was the time to bring it back?
trying to make it easier for out of state people to visit since their sales are a little low
Yeah,
side,
and that's
probably.
the thing. This right now, attendance
Influx
at all
before
the
you lay
theme
off
parks,
people.
is down right now. It's been on fire for the last 2 years because it's
Literally
where
at
people were.
Disneyland.
Yes, it's where
Well
people
done.
were willing and able to go if they didn't want to jump through any of the COVID hoops. So attendance has been really strong, and it's down a bit. I mean,
Well,
we've
plus,
been expecting
with their woke
that.
agenda, sales are down once you cave to the woke mob.
That's right. You go broke.
I I don't think they're going broke anytime soon.
No.
But the crowds are definitely back to pre-pandemic levels.
Yeah. So they did say, they expect someday eventually maybe to sell out, but that also they do plan on bringing them back for sale more frequently.
Frequently. We are gathering here
than they have recently. So I guess that's good news.
Yeah. And we certainly know there was demand. The DVC folks broke it when they went on sale for them. And there were people waiting hours and hours. But you could have waited a couple of days and not waited at all.
The amount of people that dropped their passes, we just kept ours.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I think that they definitely knew what they were doing. They made people worried that they were going to sell out right away, and when they had no intention of actually
make it seem scarce, and more people will get in there and get it.
The mouse is good at that.
That's marketing 101, right?
Mickey has a marketing degree, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which esteemed university did Mickey Mouse go to? UCF?
I'll have to ask him next time I'm down there. He often has a big M on his shirt. Maybe he went to the University of Michigan.
Gross. Uh-oh, we lost our Michigan listener.
Wait, we only have one? Two?
Only one.
Two are those.
How does that math work?
I got a confession to make.
You don't listen.
You're from Ohio?
I played through it with the sound turned off. I turned the sound off, set it to 2x speed, and play the episode so I get credit for a listen.
Oh, I should start
That's cheating, Dan.
Hey, every little bit helps. It's officially halfway to Halloween.
Woo-hoo.
As we go to press right now, and Disney is full of news. They've been trotting it out slowly over the last week or so.
Trotting it out. Did you see the epic party they threw for influencers to launch this?
Yeah, that was. I'm a little jealous that I'm not an influencer.
Excuse for the most incredible party anyone's ever seen.
So cool. If you didn't see the stories on this, they threw an incredible party in the Haunted Mansion, and it spilled out all into that area around the Haunted Mansion, right? There was some stuff.
And all the way out into the transportation to get to the park from the TTC. They had the haunted boat and all this. What in the world?
Yeah, and then they did.
Epic.
They did on the riverboat. They had appetizers out there, and then they brought them into the stretching rooms for the main part of the party.
It looked killer, and I want it.
They had people out there from costuming to give them makeup if they hadn't provided their own costume and makeup for the party.
The guests, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
The influencer guests.
Ballpark, what do you think a party like that cost?
$80.
Oh, I think it was more.
Well, we've had some pretty mid parties that were like $150 a person just for a buffet. So
I'm thinking this was hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I think
certainly
more than $1 million.
Yeah,
certainly. It's a good thing those influencers are.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
It certainly makes the news, though. So publicity is the goal.
I could get it on the news too, and whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, so they definitely kicked off halfway to Halloween, which I didn't realize is a thing.
Yeah, neither did I.
Has that been a thing at Disney before? I don't recall this.
Never this big. Apparently, it started off as just like a thing that...
A way to announce the Halloween party sales, right?
Yeah, but even before that, apparently it was a thing that like weirdos at the campgrounds were doing just as an excuse to decorate and have fun at the campground.
Yeah, it was the one time a year they didn't know how to decorate their dumb golf carts.
Yeah. So I guess at the campground kind of started it from what I understand. And it's taken off to be a big marketing thing, but they used it to announce that sales for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party are going on sale very soon.
Very soon.
Did they have the full party last year? They did, right? Yeah.
They did.
They're acting like it's back. Like I saw all the articles were like, it's coming back. Didn't we do this?
Yeah, they do that every year.
Yes.
Though, like as if there was any doubt.
Like anyone's surprised that their biggest moneymaker is returning.
Right. They do the same thing with their Epcot festivals.
Last year was the first of that party back. The year before they did just
The after
those
hours.
after hours. Yeah.
Yes. So select dates starting in August 11th. Select nights starting August 11th. Through November 1st, Magic Kingdom is going to have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. They didn't really announce anything that sounded like it was new or different. So it's going to be
Same stuff.
Like
Mickey's
my granny
Boo-Boo.
always told me, if it isn't broke, doesn't fix it.
That's right. Yes, what Jeff said. The Boo to You Halloween Parade. They're going to have
I do love
Cadaver
that parade.
dance.
Spectacular. The Cadaver Dance, Trick or Treating. The Sanderson Sisters, Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular is going to be back. Also, during the party, guests may have the opportunity to experience some of their favorite attractions, including Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and Tron.
Are they going to did they make any mention of the way they usually do Space Mountain during the Halloween party?
Space Mountain.
Blackout something.
They have not actually officially
That's cool and scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to try that. I haven't been to the party in years. I should go again. My favorite thing is sweating through a costume in August 11th.
That's why you need to plan your costume accordingly. Go as Maui next time.
Oh, good idea.
A leaf skirt.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. One big announcement that they did, it wasn't a full-on announcement, more of a tease that they had as part of this rollout. They showed a bunch of merch. They showed a bunch of the treats and snacks that they're going to have. But they also teased again the return of the Hatbox Ghost.
Yes.
Well,
Saw
not the
that.
return. For the first time ever, he
will be
come to-
materializing at the Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion.
Yes. So he returned to Disneyland after many years. Was that last year or the year before?
Year before, I think. It's been
Maybe
a little
even
bit.
more
He's
than
been
that.
back for
It's
a
been a
little
while.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So they teased that that he's coming back. They did mention that at 2020. Oh, it was 2015 that he returned.
Yeah, I
to
was
Disneyland
thinking it's
Haunted
been there
Mansion.
for a while.
Before this show. I didn't think it was that long ago. Getting old.
They finally figured out how to make the effect work. So let's put him back.
Right. That's right. They also, just today, they debuted, it's not that huge and exciting as the Hatbox Ghost, but there's a new lighting effect in the Haunted Mansion. In the graveyard scene, there's a hearse that's crashed in the background, and they added flickering lantern lights inside the hearse so you can see it more, and it makes that part of the scene look a little
So
more
we
lively.
maybe can expect a small refurb downtime for them to install Hatbox Ghost, or is
They
going
have
to
not
pop
yet
in and put him in there at
announced-
night?
They haven't
Where
yet
he's
announced
located,
their plan.
they wouldn't have to go down to install.
Right. And I believe at Disneyland, they didn't either. They rearranged the attic and put up some curtains while they were working on the area, but they kept the
Yeah, it was like
that's true.
they worked on it behind those velvety drapes because it's just in that one. So I don't know. It's a little bit different at World than Land because there's not that platform or just before you go out the or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think they're going to have to rearrange the attic scene a little bit.
They'll put in the Navi lady to distract you.
Navi lady. That's terrifying.
Yeah, they have a ton of merch this year and a lot of good stuff for Halloween. And they love a spirit jersey. There's 10 different Halloween spirit jerseys released for this thing. Have y'all been to Florida? It's hot down there. I'm not walking around in a thick sweatshirt.
Also, they're not very flattering on most people, but everyone loves them.
Yeah,
Especially ladies who love walking around in leggings.
Well, it's long enough it hides your big fat ass, is what people think. So
You're supposed to buy them like 6 sizes too big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, keep an eye out for that and talk to your Key to the World travel planner for help purchasing tickets for that event and planning the rest of your trip around that. Briefly touched on this maybe a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Epcot, but those harmonious barges are not only being removed, but they are being scrapped with a vengeance right there on Walt Disney World property.
Them.
You can see photos of
they
that.
should use that metal structure to rebuild the dragon at Disneyland.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And they have officially removed the Stargate from the center. We were curious if that was happening or not, but that's gone. And you can see there's aerial photos of the marina nearby where they stage those things, and they are cutting them apart and scrapping them. So
that was an expensive show for its 18-month run.
Yeah,
Oof.
I really loved that show. It caught a lot of crap because of how ugly it was when the show wasn't running, but I just loved the show. I wish they could have figured out how to have those things come up out of the water or go back.
Or move them in and out like they did with the ball. Yeah. But
I love the idea of all of the world music versions of all of the songs from the films. It was much better than just really shoehorning in every movie song in its normal version like they do.
Yeah, it had a really great moving message. It was good. I loved that show. Speaking of things that Disney is spending a metric buttload of money on, they're getting ready to drop a little cash at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, a few bucks.
Did they say specifically Magic Kingdom? On that, we're going to spend $14 billion thing.
$1 billion. A lot of it is Magic Kingdom. Yeah. I believe that the way Iger put it was that it was investment at Disney World. But given the teases of Beyond Big Thunder, I think a lot of it, we assume will go back there.
For anyone listening, we've all talked about this, but all of Universal's Epic Universe by Universal is that's an entire third gate for them, and that's costing $1 billion. That's bananas that they're going to spend like 14
billion.
Many billions.
It was 17 billion, and they plan to hire 14,000 people.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Even more money. Yeah. And that's the thing. They're laying off a whole bunch of people, and then they're getting ready to bring a whole bunch back. They're going to need them for that Beyond Big Thunder land. There's been a lot of speculation
Turner's
about
Mad Max's Beyond Thunder.
Yes.
Right. There's been a lot of speculation about what that's going to look like. I think some of it's more accurate than others. I still don't think that they're going to take all of Frontierland down to Nolans.
I hope
doesn't make
not.
sense to me.
There's been a bunch of rumor articles about the Country Bears going bye-bye for it.
The one I've read sounds like a redo of Country Bears with updated animatronics.
And that I could get behind, for sure.
I just don't think with how far Frontierland expands away from Splash Mountain and the flow of Liberty Square into... I don't think it makes sense.
They could take that little corner area that has the Tortugas that flows into the thing. It's dead space between Adventureland and Frontierland. Anyway, they could dress that up New Orleans style and turn whatever that dumb burger place, what is it called?
Pecos Bills.
Pecos Bills. Turn that into Tiana's thing and put a beignet window where the Fry Shack used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. There's a little bit of dead space there. They could put some fronts on to give it a New Orleans look. And then that could gracefully fade into... one building has the wrought iron balconies, and then it fades gracefully into Frontierland.
Right. And there's plenty of space in that kind of courtyard area in front of the Splash Mountain and blending on back to Big Thunder. So I think that corner, like you said, makes more sense than to take the entirety of the way.
Take it all the way down. Because it goes nicely into Liberty Square, the way they change it a little by little.
Right. And that's the whole point of the land is you're supposed to be traveling slowly back in time, or forward in time, I should say.
Sometime in time.
Right. Yes. So there's that. And, there's talk about potentially opening up a path past the Haunted Mansion.
I love that idea. If they did a Riverwalk thing that went around back there, and then that tied in with, I guess they're suggesting that would tie into Villains Land, which Villains Land... Heather and I drove around the back of that thing. We have a storage unit that's back behind the Magic Kingdom, and we went back on an access road that you don't normally see in the public, and there is just a ton of room back behind there.
So much space.
That's all already Disney, and it's mostly just land. There's a little bit of utility stuff back there, but they actually have a lot more land back there than you
Some of
think.
it right now is nature preserve, but I think what they have done a lot of times is when they build on something,
new wetland.
Yes, exactly. They take over some of their other property and recategorize that as wetland or nature preserve, and just moving around the preserved land.
Yeah, it's funny how they do that. They did that a lot with, yes, I mean, every project, they have to reallocate wetland space to different areas and stuff. But so there's definitely the space back there. So you can see how, but I'm also curious, like you said, with what Universal is spending on Epic Universe, what else does this $17 billion represent?
I think they're going to build another park.
I mean, it's so much.
And they also I forget the deets of it, but there was some filing that they just did that sounded like maneuvering to get another park started because of the way some tax thing worked. Something was like they had to make some move to make a park possible by a certain time or they'd lose that ability.
So we're officially speculating possibly maybe Fifth Gate.
I would love it.
Is that what you think? So. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
where do we think it would go?
I mean, they've got so much space.
In one of the hundreds of millions of acres.
Yes.
Right. I mean, the thing is, though, that they have other things that they need to do after they finish Epcot. I assume part of that money is going to go towards some of the changes they announced, blue sky projects for Animal Kingdom. Honestly, Hollywood Studios isn't done. It needs something.
It's so landlocked now, though. They keep doing that. They bought all this land and then put essentially they're privately owned, but they're essentially interstates right up to the back of all of their parks. Like they weirdly purposely landlock themselves. It's strange.
Yeah.
Disneyland, it makes sense because they built up around the landy end, but at World, he did all this to avoid that and then did it to himself.
There are still a lot of sound stages and offices back over there that I don't believe are being used anymore for sound stages, that they could take that.
Most of that was taken up by Star Warsville.
Yeah, but isn't there space behind Star Warsville that they could be adding more Star Warsville?
There. Yes, there is still some space there.
They also have Launch Bay and behind there
what are they going to do? That whole area over there by Launch Bay and Little Mermaid and all that stuff needs to be
so scattershot.
Something.
If they're not pretending it's a working studio anymore, they could just clear out all of that.
I mean,
absolutely.
They've already the Disney Junior meet and greets, almost like they need to maybe do some sort of true kiddie land that's more of a play area.
Yes.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, small rides like they have at Disneyland Paris. That's all essentially kiddie rides, but well themed. Yeah. And that being close to Toy Story Land would make perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's been speculation about that area going to other Pixar properties besides Toy Story, back to Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. All that stuff could
also tear that out.
Pixar.
Something.
Yeah, something worthwhile.
$17 billion is just so much. If they did a refurb on every single ride and added a new land to every park, that's still not that much money.
Yeah, it's so much money.
I think you're going to see, maybe we'll finally see monorail improve, especially now that the state of Florida is saying we're going to come in and inspect the monorail for you and force you to shut it down while we're inspecting it regularly.
There was an entire brand new hotel project that got axed. Maybe we can see something on that front.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of rumor of the Epcot Hotel there by the entrance.
Yeah. Yep. The Epcot Hotel. Also, they're going to be refurbing. They're going to be turning, I'm assuming it's not all, but some of the cabins at the campsite are going to be DVC cabins.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up when you mentioned the cabins and people decorating their goofy carts. Yeah, they're redoing all of those cabins eventually. They'll be in the same footprint, but they look real modern and cool, and they'll have much better amenities. And of course, everybody cries about it because I don't know why, but they will now be DVC properties, which you can still rent them as a consumer.
Just because it's DVC doesn't mean you have to be a DVC owner to partake. My favorite resort that I stay in all the time is Riviera. It's DVC, and I'm not a DVC owner.
It says it's projected to open in late 24, so that's a pretty quick turnaround on this. I don't know how many of those cabins they have, but I guess they could just build one and then build another.
Yeah, they could do them one at a time for sure. Or even if they shut down an entire cabin loop and worked on
They
them
look
all.
modular too,
Yeah.
like they are those units they can build off site and drop right onto the footprint.
Oh, yeah. Like the contemporary.
Slide in a drawer.
Yeah, chest of drawers. The Poly is also built that way, but nobody celebrates that on the Polynesian. It's all the contemporary gets all the hype.
It was first, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't it simultaneous?
Let's just go with me being right.
That's always the best policy for me, your humble employee. Speaking of Splash Mountain and Tiana's Bayou Adventure, we have a closing date for Disneyland Splash Mountain. It's going to be closing late May, specifically May 30th of 2023. And the storyline is still lame.
Still lame.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't wait to be on a Bayou Adventure while Tiana shops at the Market Co-op.
Although they did release some concept art from it, and I guess the rabbit and the vultures at the top of the hill are going to be replaced by what's her name, Mama Odie. I don't know why she's sending you over the
up
edge.
there sending us over the edge. We like her.
Yeah, I don't know.
How is it that we all thought of the perfect thing?
Everyone but the Imagineers.
Yes,
because they killed him off, and then they had to decide, well, let's make the storyline after the movie everyone loves. So who thought a ride based on what happens next was a good? This is what Star Wars ruined. Instead of putting us in the movies we love, they write some dumb original story.
No, here's what it is. They overcorrected. They said, okay,
100%.
we're redoing this because of all of the problems with Song of the South. And so they tried to make it like as inoffensive and see, this makes me sound like I'm on the go won't go broke side, but like
which we're not, but you can overcorrect because that movie in and of itself is a great film. Just make it about that actual storyline.
I think they were afraid of too much singing, dancing, New Orleans-y.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which becomes could be accused of being a caricature. So now she's an amazing businesswoman.
Co-op is stupid.
Yeah. But that Are You Ready? And New Orleans is full of voodoo. It should have been that guy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
nobody thought the Winnie the Pooh ride should be set after Winnie the Pooh graduates from tax accountant school.
Although, don't say that too loud. You're going to give somebody ideas.
Winnie the Pooh, Esquire.
Yes. When his name is Winnocent the Feces. Henceforth, I will be unable to ken. I'm sure it'll be a fun ride. And the drop mechanics and all that stuff are there. But you've got all these great songs that already exist. And let's write all new ones about, her owning a business.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many of the sequels to animated features you've watched that have gone direct to video.
They're dreadful.
They're rarely good. So
I did like Lion King 1.5.
That was that was a clever idea.
Yep.
That was a good idea. There's a handful.
Yeah, it was like the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead version of Lion King.
Very good point. I never thought of it that way.
Incredibly highbrow.
Wow.
Quick, make another poop joke. Oh, yeah. So some lucky guests on an Adventures by Disney expedition to the Arctic Circle this July 10th through 19th. They are super lucky. They're going to be joined by Joe Rohde himself.
Now, did they not know this when they purchased?
I don't know.
No, this was added later.
That's so cool if you just happen to be doing that.
Yeah.
And there are still spots left. So,
so call up Keep the World Travel now because that sounds amazing. You're going to join former Imagineer Joe Rohde
and earring aficionado.
That's right. I wonder what he'll add to his ear for this trip to the Arctic Circle. Because isn't that what he does? He adds something with. He's a creative genius who's behind pretty much all of Animal Kingdom, especially Pandora. He had his hands on
the Guardians ride at Disneyland, the redo there.
Yes.
He did that whole thing.
Yeah. So he does a lot of in-depth research and adventuring and exploring the world to help come up with the background for these attractions.
He's an interesting fella.
He's just a great storyteller, too. Just very engaging. I would love that.
Follow him.
Tried to convince my family that's what we should do for summer vacation, and I was shut down.
Your family sucks.
Your family's tubers. Polar bears and Joe Rody? Come on.
Right?
I say this with the utmost affection for my
being part of your family.
They suck. Yeah, the trip starts in Svalbard. No,
Norway.
It begins in Oslo, Norway.
Yeah.
You go to Svalbard.
You do go to Svalbard.
And then you get on a Penant expedition cruise.
And I love Penant. It's a beautiful ship.
Yeah. They're amazing ships. Heather's been on them. We've heard all about those. Spend 7 days on board cruising around the Arctic Circle.
Looking for polar bears.
Yeah. Joe Rody will be leading some sessions that he will just share stories.
That would be so cool.
Whatever, talk about cool stuff.
And there's Joe Rody.
Yeah, no kidding.
Stories
the first time he hooked up with a bear.
Not the last time. Something tells me you don't come out here just for hunting. It's my favorite Gilbert Gottfried joke. I can't share it live on air, though. The expedition starts at a cool $13,799
per person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it takes
all of your food and all of your beverages are all included. So
you would think so.
Bargain.
Right. Plus, you're going way up to the Arctic where a single igloo hotel room can set you back $250,000.
That's true.
For a night,
Good point.
We've reported in the past. So, and that again is July 10th through July 29th. So also, wait a second. Is that right? It's the
10th through the 29th.
It's the 10th through the 19th. There's a typo in this story. It's the 10th through the 19th. And contact Key to the World travel agent if you're interested on jumping on the Joe Rody action.
That itinerary already looked amazing. And now you got Joe Rody on there. Glad to see him doing something with Disney.
Yeah, because wasn't he supposed to be going to outer space with one of the Bond villains?
Was he with the Branson?
I cannot remember which Bond villain, but
think he was.
Yes,
I think
certainly
he was
not Bezos.
I think he was.
I thought it was Blue Origin. Yeah,
yeah, it was. That's too bad. He's my least favorite he's my second least favorite of the Bond villains.
He used to be my least favorite, but now Elon Musk has surpassed that with his supreme douchery.
Yeah, his titter nonsense. So anyway.
That one. Come on.
Did you see that? He had
gross.
The W painted over in his corporate headquarters sign.
What?
So that
child.
At Twitter,
yes.
Twitter corporate headquarters, he had the W painted over white so that it reads titter because he's a child.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a quick one. The Capture Your Moment photo sessions at Magic Kingdom, they've expanded the locations that you can visit so that now you can have your photos. It originally was just, they would take you to spots around Cinderella Castle. Now you can go out into Fantasyland. Some of the venues that you can choose from include the backside of the castle, Prince Charming Regal Carousel, Rapunzel's Tower, Prince Eric's Castle, the entrance to Storybook Circus, Belle and Maurice's Cottage, outside the Beast Castle, and more. So you're guaranteed at least one spot for your session. Usually you end up visiting a few spots for your photo shoot.
This would be a lot of great spots.
Yeah, they do a
Some
good
pretty
job.
stuff.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. Those photo shoots are phenomenal. I'll link to an article we've got about the experience of that package. And
are you saying you experienced a package?
Yes, I did experience the Capture Your Moment package. And yeah, it's great to see more locations, more options for photos. Make it special to you.
I think I've figured out some of the money they may be spending. Some of that $17 billion might be used to put in more cameras and security at the Remy ride at Epcot.
Jeff's gone rogue on
There's been
the
some.
script here.
There was a news item this week
at Epcot this week.
Yeah. We're going there?
Yeah, we're going there.
We're going to touch on this one? All
Yeah.
right.
Speaking
There
of
were
touching
two
on,
incidents at Epcot.
Wait, there was
this
two
week.
incidents.
this is a headline that I just had. It was a scroll stopper. Man arrested after watching porn, masturbating, smoking, and then vaping on Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot. How long is this ride?
This ride is not that long.
That's so many activities.
Maybe he was doing all of that at the same time.
And allegedly,
Does he
the guy
have arms
finished.
like Ganesh? How could he do all of this? I just feel awful for anybody that might have been in the car near him or with him even.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happened at the end of March. From the report, at approximately 8:40 p.m., this person, a cast member asked the guest to stop touching his genital
Put
area
that
through
away
his
and get
pants.
off the ride.
And then he lit up a cigarette, causing the ride to stop. They stopped the ride and made an announcement over the loudspeaker that smoking is not permitted. So then he put out his cigarette and began vaping instead, and then started touching himself again.
I'm thinking this guy might have had too much drinking around the world time.
I think so. Probably the same as the other incident that happened in Epcot where the parents that were
also
accompanying
in France.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it
You
was
cut me off
also
before I
in
got
France. Yeah.
you cut me off before I got to say the word ejaculation, though.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Was there? Did he finish?
Did this occur?
Yeah, from the police report. A few minutes later, they observed the subject viewing pornography on his cell phone. The subject continued to masturbate until ejaculation and later exited the cart at approximately
and speaking
21,
of
25
fountains.
hours.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
This one is
Yeah.
a little less offensive. It was some possibly overserved adults who were accompanying a cheer team to competitions who decided that they were hot and tired and they were just going to climb in the fountains and use them like a swimming pool.
I mean, I have thought of that. They're Canadian, so I'm wondering,
They were
is that the
Canadian.
norm in Canada? Like,
Yes.
I did see a comment on the original
Climb in
TikTok
fountains?
that shared that said, "Oh, in Canada, that's just normal. We use the fountains like that." It's like, yeah, okay, but you're not in Canada.
But
I have
really?
seen that, like
Do
in
they?
Chicago and places. There's kids in fountains, and
Yeah, but
the
not
kids
grown ups.
usually, not
just
drunk adults laying.
Yeah.
They were just laying there.
They're just laying
They
there.
climbed in the fountain and were just laying there.
Yeah.
And
I was real close to putting my feet in the fountain one time at the one at the American Pavilion, but I didn't even do that. I certainly wouldn't have just laid in there. But then what happens after? You get out and you're 100% soaked wet to walk around
Yeah,
the parks.
no, that sounds awful.
Like chafe.
Yeah. So apparently they actually didn't get in as much trouble as they should have because that kind of behavior can result in the team getting disqualified, but they went on and competed and have not been
They won
disqualified.
second place.
Yeah. Apparently the kids from the team also had an incident where they were doing some aerial stunts in Italy and security had to come and ask them to stop, which again, I don't know why they weren't disqualified because stunting in the parks is
it's on the contract.
expressly verboten that you're not allowed to do that.
no.
Yeah. Cheer competition time sounds like a rough time to
Sounds
be a guest at
sounds like
the
fun, huh?
All-Stars. Yeah. I mean, have you seen the photos at All-Star Sports outside the football buildings? They have a football field and it's just full of hundreds of cheerleaders morning, noon, and night practicing their routines before their competition.
Well, I'm booking a flight.
I really sold it for you, didn't I? Yeah.
We did stay at Pop Century one time during, I don't know if it was the cheer. I can't remember if it was cheer
Cheer or dance.
contest.
Yeah.
And my son was little and we'd been there a couple of times. He goes, I don't know why, Dad, but I really like it here. And he's in a pool amongst 5 dozen cheerleader girls who are all like doing stunts and stuff in the pool. I was like, I know why you like it here.
And that's the day he knew. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, please don't get in the
It
fountains.
feels
No.
like everyone is just getting more obnoxious just by the day.
Yes,
Especially in
it
public
really does.
places like theme parks and
On
this kind of
airplanes.
thing. Wild.
Man screaming and throwing
People
a
need to
tantrum
take a step
because
back and remember how to be human.
because a child was crying on his flight.
Oh, yeah. I
That
saw
happened
Well, that
recently
child paid
as
extra
well.
to scream.
Yeah.
Just some reprehensible behavior lately. It feels like it's become more socially acceptable not to hide your flaws.
I blame the comment sections on social media have made it where everyone thinks they can do and say whatever, and now they're taking it out into public.
Yeah. I don't like it.
I mean, I like the Ratatouille ride too, but it doesn't give me that one.
Anywho, Virgin Voyage's third ship, the Resilient Lady, launches in May.
Very soon,
This year. Yeah. The Mermaiden Voyage.
I get it.
Now with real mermaids.
That's right. All over the boat.
Pretty much.
It launches May 15th from Athens, where it's going to be
Georgia?
headquartered for... No, Athens, Greece. That's where it's going to be headquartered for its maiden season. They're going to have two different itineraries that they're sailing there. One, I erased the description of it. One is the Greek Isles cruise that is going to stop at Santorini, Rhodes, Bodrum, and Mykonos.
Places.
Yes. And then the second one will be an 8-night itinerary that includes the Greek islands and then also goes... Wait, no. Sorry. Reverse that. The first one is the Greek island glow. So that is the Santorini, Rhodes, etc. And then they're also going to have an Adriatic Sea and Greek gems sailing.
Yeah, that one looks incredible.
One goes to Croatia.
All the ports are just spectacular on both of those itineraries, really.
I'll be taking my young son on that next summer. One of the two of those.
Stay in the Mediterranean until October of this year, and then she's moving on down to Australia and New Zealand.
That's right. On the way, her repositioning voyage sounds pretty phenomenal, too. They're going to stop in Cairo, Dubai, Bali, Mumbai, Phuket.
Ooh.
I'd be careful with that one. And also Singapore. It arrives in Sydney on December 4th, and then it's going to stay down there. Although some things I saw said that they were going to be splitting the winter. That must have been old plans or something. It said something about Southern Caribbean, but then there's nothing on the schedule for that. So.
Yeah, I think Resilient is going to stay over in that hemisphere. And then Brilliant Lady will be launching, I believe, next year, their final ship.
I think so.
So this really rounds out their itinerary offerings with some great stuff.
Yes.
Scarlet and Valiant will be over here doing the Caribbean and then, Greek Isles tour. That looks just fabulous.
And I was looking at their schedule for 2024, and it looks like the Resilient Lady is going to occasionally take breaks from their normal Australian itineraries and occasionally go up into Southeast Asia type spots. So
what's the itinerary in Australia? It seems
there's a couple of them. They go around Australia
and New Zealand.
And some of the islands around there.
That's the way that I want to see Australia, because then I can sleep on the ship where there are no snakes and spiders. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
No wolf spiders for me.
Yes. Now is the time to get on your summer plans. And
they have a really good promotion right now where they will give you $1,400 towards airfare to get over to one of the Greek sailings. And that actually goes all the way through May of 24. So some of their earlier 24 sailings are included in it. That's a great deal because it's pricey to fly over there to Athens to set sail.
And that brings up another story we were going to talk about, that the flights are filling for Europe and other international destinations for this summer. Delta reported just a few days ago that 75% of their capacity is already full on their international routes for this summer. So if you were looking to visit anywhere offshore for summer vacation, now is the time.
Yeah, get on that now and also, the flights are selling out and people are buying them no matter the price. I saw something that fares are up by 20%.
They are. It's not cheap right
over
now.
what was already expensive last.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So it's just huge demand to get.
Huge demand. And it's a great time to sail with Virgin, though, because they still have really great prices on their sailings. So,
yeah, great prices, great promos. They're always giving away a ton of money to spend on the whether it's the sailor loot that you can use anywhere for anything, or whether it's the bar tab. They're handing out bar tabs left and right to
they really
everybody
are.
who signs up. Yeah.
It comes to being pretty much all inclusive with those bar tabs that they're including.
Yeah.
It absolutely was. My last one, I had $900 worth of anywhere loot plus $300 on bar. So like, what? I was just, everything was covered.
Yeah.
I think I left there with still money in the kitty because I ran out of ways to drink it and eat it and spend money.
Yeah. And that's a great way to cover all of your shore excursions. You can maybe use that to upgrade to a more expensive shore excursion that you wouldn't have, a shore thing.
A shore thing.
That you wouldn't have used otherwise. Get yourself a cabana
and they've got some great shore excursions on their Mediterranean sailings. There's some really cool things to do over there.
Yeah.
Start saving up, Heather. You're buying me a trip next year.
Thanks for the heads up.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that leaves me to another trip for next year. There's one city in Ohio that is going to have a perfect view of the total solar eclipse next year. And
Ohio?
And they're giving away a trip to one lucky group of people to go see it. I've always said it, but Cleveland rocks, and they are getting ready to rock their
You have always said that.
solar eclipse game. It does. It's a good city. It catches a bad rap, but it's a good city. So they've got this online game that you can play. It's an online racing game. You have to race through Cleveland to get to a viewing space downtown with Jimmy Fallon before the eclipse reaches its totality. And then post your score on their Facebook page or on Twitter using a hashtag Solar Eclipse CLE. You have until May 26th to do this. And the traveler who wins the grand prize will get an overnight stay for up to 4 people at a downtown Cleveland hotel. Tickets to 2 local attractions. Off the top of my head, I'm guessing that one of those tickets is
Rock and Roll
attractions
Hall of Fame.
is going to be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the other is going to probably be
Top
the
Golf.
Science Center.
That's the only other
next
thing
door
in
to it.
Cleveland.
Top Golf.
Yeah, there's the Great Lakes Science Center. It's pretty good if you're into that kind of thing. But yeah, they're definitely sending you to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Plus a $50 gift card to a downtown restaurant and up to 4 pairs of solar eclipse glasses so that you can do what your mother always told you not to do and stare directly at the sun.
Or if you're a strong like bull like President Trump, you just look right at it.
That's true.
Burn your retinas.
Few people are. So they're calling this eclipse the Great American Eclipse because it's going to be visible from lots of places across the country.
Great American Eclipse. Way to make it about us.
That's right. It's taking place next April 8th, 2024. It's going to stretch from the Niagara Falls area in Canada into the U.S. Parts be visible across parts of Indiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio, and more. It will first cross North America on Mexico's Pacific coast at about 11:07 a.m. So
that's pretty cool.
Exciting.
I like
that
they're doing some events, putting some travel packages together.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to see that, you need to get on booking that now for next year because there are the places that can see it. They are already, filling up specifically for solar eclipse tourism.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, and people have been planning this since the last total eclipse, which was 3-4 years ago was the last time it was across over America that we could see it.
I guess I never noticed that you could only see that from certain areas.
Yeah. Yeah. It only happens, in certain parts of the globe, and it's a big deal for some people, and it is booking up. So, and we've actually seen some chatter of it with in our agency little group. So definitely contact the Key to the World travel agent soon if you're interested in watching the sun die.
Way to bring it down.
Yeah. I picked this next story mostly because the name of the airline amuses me, and I thought that you might have some fun with it. So there's this, everything in the world now is going to subscription for everything. I hate that every single app I want to use on my phone, I now have to subscribe to.
Mm-hmm.
Or my Margaritaville cruise line is now.
I'm excited for that. Honestly, I'm tempted to book the $100 cruise just to see if it's actually as bad as it looks in the photos.
You'll come back with scabies.
You're going to pay them $100 for diarrhea.
I mean, I've spent more money and ended up with diarrhea at the end. I don't know if that's true, but so anyway, there's a one of those value airlines. It's a European value airline. Wizz Air is now offering flight subscriptions, and this is like a Spirit Air level airline where you pay for
with more urine.
Everything. Yes, it's based entirely in Europe, and they're having a subscription program, which for 6 months you pay, I think the starting, where did I see the price?
Wizz Air.
I don't see the price. Where'd the price go? Anyway, you can subscribe and you'll get one free flight a month for 6 months, basically. But then you get a fixed price without having to worry trying to find the cheap days to travel. So you get a flight a month for 6 months. You can pick different levels for services. You know, if you want your bag price included in your flight, then you upgrade your ticket or upgrade your price.
It's 249 euros a year for this privilege pass.
Yeah. I mean,
where do they fly?
All over Europe. It's one of those small places that.
Just going
and they're going to have
country around Europe. That'd be pretty cool.
So they're just testing this out right now, and it's going to be for domestic routes in Italy plus international routes from Italy to Poland as part of its trial run. So it's a little bit limited, but if you're, hopping around Italy, or if you're a business traveler and, regularly have to make trips, it could be a good deal.
Do you have to pay to use the bathroom like you do on Ryanair?
Lovely. Really? You have to pay to use the bathroom on Ryanair? I don't
think they actually went through with it. They proposed that you were going to have to use a euro coin to get into the restroom to pee on the plane. Yeah.
You have to do that in a lot of public restrooms.
No, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, I was wondering, do they pee before you get on and after you get off?
Backlash for it, and I don't know where they actually went through with it.
That's like having to pay for your seat after you buy a ticket to get on the plane. Come on.
Right.
Certain things are included.
Inevitable.
Right. But I mean, after seeing this, last year we talked about how different places, including even Costco, were starting to do a subscription private jet service. Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised if this is successful in Europe to see this come to the United States with some of the smaller regional
that's true.
Lines. So, and like I said, for certain people, it could be a good deal. So I just liked Wizz Air. I thought that was fun.
That's what it smells like in the bathroom.
Yuck.
Yeah. All right. And then the last story I had, God damn it. By the way, I taught my daughter on accident to say damn it. No, Sophia runs around the house saying it all the time.
I taught her a little something last week.
I taught her a little something at Max's last week.
Yeah, she did.
And I have it on video.
You were so proud of that.
The best part, though, is she understands. I don't know if the language that Heather taught her she understands, but she understands the context under which you use damn. She uses it properly.
Oh, I love that.
She's frustrated. Yeah, when she's frustrated, damn it. It's great.
Yes.
I love it. It makes me
her.
so happy. All right. So my last story for you this week. Headline: Vienna nudists oppose plan for cable car over their beach.
Vienna nudists?
Yes.
I actually was unaware there was a nude beach in Vienna.
Yeah, apparently there is.
That's so you can see their Vienna sausage.
I was wondering how long it was going to take to get the Vienna sausage joke, and I'm glad that you jumped on that right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. So nudists in Austria are up in arms about plans for a cable car that would pass over a popular beach on the northern edge of Vienna where clothing is optional.
I thought nudists didn't care about people seeing their Vienna sausages.
According to...
I don't want to end up on the internet, says some 72-year-old man with a Vienna sausage.
Exactly. The country's Austria press agency on Friday quoted nudist Barbara Hausel, who said that she fears for her privacy if cable car users with cell phone cameras are allowed to swoop across the area. Yeah. I don't want to end up on the internet, the 72-year-old
Maybe keep your clothes on.
The APA. Yeah. But the project developer wants to reassure nudists that the cable cars would only pass over the beach for a short period of time. Also, the windows could be made to turn opaque automatically. So
I love that exhibitionists are worried about someone seeing them.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to go across the Danube River, back over to the Kahlenberg, which is a small mountain in the northern area of the city. 115 gondolas with panoramic windows would offer a breathtaking view across Vienna and its elderly nude bathers, apparently.
Yeah. Elderly. Can't wait. Sign me up.
All right. Yeah. How long before that ends up on an ABD itinerary? It's part of the adults only section of the...
It's unsavory.
They'll take the kids off to learn how to waltz, and the adults can take the cable car over the nude beach.
Again and again and again.
Yeah, can you pay for
I'd pay extra not to go over the
Yes, thank you.
You just push the button and turn the windows opaque. And
nudists are never the kind of people you would like to see naked. It's not like the cable car over the Playboy Mansion.
And even then, I'm not sure who's living in the Playboy Mansion these days. Maybe even that excursion's not going to be the most picturesque.
Yeah,
I don't know. So, I think we've said all we need to say
about the things that we talk about, man.
Old naked Austrian people. Unless you've got any more
start.
I wasn't expecting the Vienna sausages this week.
Yeah, we didn't say anything about Wiener Schnitzels. Imagine I made a really good Wiener Schnitzel joke.
I will. If you'd like to have some Wiener Schnitzel.
Are you prepared to offer that service? Do you realize the can of worms you just opened there?
Wiener Schnitzel is delicious, Dan.
Wiener Schnitzel is also self-marinating.
Oh, God.
Thanks for hanging out with us again this week. If you're excited to experience the summer of Disney thrills or explore anywhere else around the world, Key to the World Travel has Tiana's abandoned salt mine full of expert travel planners. They're ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started with a no-obligation quote. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globetrotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globetrotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest updates at www.gold and all the latest updates at www.keyadventurers.com. We can't wait to hang out with you again. We'll see you real soon.
Bye, y'all.
To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.